In a world where two retired vets decided their phone conversations about WWE and storylines would make a good podcast, only one podcast dares to predict the future, where every move, every feud, every moment is overanalyzed. Grab your number 2 pencils. Get ready to step into the squared circle. This is your front row seat to the storylines as you wish they were written. Welcome to the If We Had the Pencil podcast. Here are your hosts, Sean Green and Matt Jackson.
Welcome to the If We Had the Pencil podcast. I'm your host, Sean Green, and with me as always, the Florida man himself, my partner in crime, Matt Jackson. Matt, how the hell are you?
Good, Sean, man. How you doing, bud?
Up until pressing record, I was doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And then everything went to poo. So, great
Reboot.
times, man.
Yeah.
Reboot,
Internet
nothing wants to talk.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm out here on campground Wi-Fi, and you're the one that's cabled in having the issues. So, the internet gods are against us, folks.
I know. I gotta put on my Camo Guy stuff and probably redo my cable and check it out. So we'll see.
Yeah. Next week we're gonna do the podcast over HF Radio.
Yeah, and then after that, teletype. You know, as I report that the Titanic just hit the iceberg. So, but anyways, so let's just dive in, man. It's been I don't know, man. Like, at least for Raw, it was like, wasn't great, but it did the job. Was kind of the vibe of Raw. So I'm just like, meh. Okay.
It didn't suck.
No. There's a lot of storyline stuff going on right now. There's a lot of setup for Crown Jewel going on right now. So it's not bad. It's just, you know, you're going to have lulls. You're going to have highs and lows. It is what it is, you know.
Yeah, they're setting up for Perth, and I think we're going to start seeing the traces of setting up for Survivor Series War Games, which I think is going to be a big push.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot of good storyline stuff to talk about, and I think there's a couple of storylines that are just for Perth and going to go away. So some of this stuff, I think there's at least 3 or 4 storylines right now that are long-term. And honestly, the only big news I saw was John Cena's date got confirmed December 3rd in Washington, D.C., and I kind of went, it's right down the road.
Yeah,
I might try to get tickets.
Yeah.
I was like, I might get tickets.
So Sean is prepared to sell one of his children to go to John Cena's last match. So
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, if it's ridiculous, I'm not doing it. Like, if I'm paying, like, PLE prices for that shit, especially for a Saturday night's main event, I'm out, you know. But, I mean, especially because, like, not that DC's far from me, but I gotta go down to DC, then I gotta come back. It's a whole thing. So, like,
but it's,
I don't know.
John Cena's last match, so the kids better behave. But honestly, folks, Sean will not sell his kids. Because that'll be the next thing we're going to get reported and, like, blocked from, like, all podcast channels. Because, Matt said Sean's going to sell his kids. How dare he?
Heck no, man. Listen, I already got multiple seats at the Bills games. I need people to fill them. So,
and somebody's got to cut the grass and, you know, take the dogs out, so. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Because my kids are so great at doing chores.
Oh, so you get to do the chores too. Awesome.
Yeah. But, yeah, that was the only big news, so let's just dive into SmackDown. And, like, you know, we had that opening segment on SmackDown. Cody Rhodes comes out. Randy Orton comes out and makes the save. And, yeah, I'll get your take on it, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about where I think a little bit of this is going, because I think we saw a glint into the future right now. But what do you think about that opening segment?
I liked it. I like Cody giving a little bit of Michael Cole history lessons. Gosh, when'd you think you'd hear Bill Watts be mentioned on modern day WWE? But I thought it was good. I liked the little interaction thing. And the big takeaway for me was, it was subtle, but I think it was big, was after all was said and done, before Randy Orton hands the Universal title back to Cody, kind of gave it a little bit longer than a passing glance at the title before he handed it back.
Yeah,
That's on purpose, so.
I know. And I've had that in my notes. And I had it in my notes because I really look, we've said it before, we'll say it again. We know that there's still a big story to be told with Randy and Cody. Like, that story exists, right? Like, there's a history there. And they've been really careful about not slow rolling it. But now those two are kind of interacting a little bit more. I mean, honestly, I think eventually Randy turns on Cody. I think that it could happen as soon as Perth, to be honest. You know, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Like, not to get ahead of ourselves, but like Seth saying, I need to beat him. Now, we're all assuming that he's talking about Cody, but I think that with him saying that, and it's like, okay, cool. So he's going to tell the Bronze to stay back. He's got to do this himself. And then wouldn't it be interesting if Randy Orton ends up being the banana peel that Cody slips on to lose, for Seth to go over? Yeah. It'd be a real interesting twist on things.
It's a great way to do it because Cody's belt isn't on the line. So again, like you said, if Randy makes Cody slip on the banana peel, all Cody loses is a ring in the title of the Crown Jewel champion. He doesn't, so.
And he's already got one, so screw him. He can, sure. I am going to say this a little bit, though. The last couple of weeks of Cody Rhodes, I'm not feeling it. Like, I'm not fully bought into him. And I actually flipped script on somebody else that we'll get into a little bit this week. So, I don't know. Cody's got to come around because, like, last week we got Therapy Cody, and I think Therapy Cody sucks. And we'll talk about Cody's interaction on Raw, which is also going to lead into some stuff. So, after that, we get Street Profits and Mello Don't Miz. Look, man, I'm ready for Mello to freaking be done with The Miz and kind of go off and do great things on his own. I think he's going to be challenging Sami Zayn real soon for that U.S. title. Like, probably open challenge, Miz screws it up or something, and then, we go from there. But I really think Mello is going to really, really probably be, I think he's going to take that title off of Sammy at some point. Not soon, but he's going to be the guy that takes it off of him. It's time for Mello to do Mello things, man. Let him be.
By Royal Rumble time, he'll be the U.S. champion, you think, by January?
I do. I really do. I think we're starting to see now a little bit with WWE in the last couple of weeks. We're starting to see younger talent kind of getting their time, and that makes me happy because, as much as we all pop for, like, the retreads, it's kind of nice now. Like, because, honestly, that tag match, Hayes was amazing, and, he did everything right, and the only thing that kind of derailed that match was obviously the storyline of him and Miz having friction. I mean, there's the sub-storyline of the Street Profits, whatever the hell they got going on right now, but I think that's simmered off a little bit because I think the Wyatts are going to start focusing on AAA. When's the next AAA event?
God, I don't know.
Even know. It's got to be coming up because now Dragon Lee's going up against Dom, so for Mega Champion, which we all know Dom's winning.
You got Perth in less than 2 weeks. Then you got Saturday night's main event, right? And then you got Saturday night's main event the last weekend of October, first week in November, with Survivor Series Thanksgiving Saturday. So I'm thinking maybe between that Saturday night's main event and Survivor Series, we see. So early November, maybe we get a AAA card. Whatever it is, it can't be soon enough.
Yeah, I'm ready for some more AAA, man. I like it. And then after that, we get Julia and Kiana James and Michin and BFAB, I'm going to tell you right now, like, Julia needs to move on and start going up against somebody that's worth a damn. Because, like, this whole thing with BFAB and Michin, I'm just like, okay, we're getting our toes wet, but I'm ready to go. Like, let's see what she can do.
Yeah, and it's not doing her any favors.
No.
Actually, I did see something on social media where it was Chelsea Green stating that she wants to see Julia defend that title every week. And then whoever beats Julia, she wants to see them every week. She wants that title to be important. So right now, it feels like out of all the women's titles in WWE, that women's U.S. title is definitely like the back burner title. It's not getting the love it should.
No, it's not. I don't know if they just haven't found the person to have chemistry with them. I have noticed that on SmackDown, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I have noticed that on SmackDown that it feels like SmackDown is really more prone for that lather, rinse, repeat, like, rivalries thing. Like, the only thing that's derailed Chelsea is that Piper Niven got her. You know what I mean? That faction was starting to pick up steam. But again, they were in the same freaking vicious circle where you're, like, rotating through the faction, and then it's a tag team, and I don't know. SmackDown seems to do that a lot. I mean, that might just be my perception, but lather, rinse, repeat lately on SmackDown seems to be the going thing.
For the U.S. title, the Open Challenge on the men's side. And we'll talk about that in a little bit when we get further in. But I'm glad they brought that back. I know we've kind of poo-pooed on Sammy, but actually the best matches on SmackDown have been the U.S. title Open Challenges lately. So
there's a reason behind it. But we had something happen before that title match.
We sure did.
We had Drew McIntyre come out. Drew was in a boot that wasn't given to him by WWE Medical. And, like, look, for years now, ever since Drew flipped to being a heel, his heel work has been like top freaking notch, like amazingly good work, and I love it so much. And like the fact that he kind of went like the whole system's out to get me, and like I love that he called out the fact that like why did the ref stop me, you know, all that stuff, because we were all asking the same questions like, why'd you stop him? Like, you know, but like, I love it. And like his work was good. And then we got Jacob Fatu back, which was starting to have me concerned, but he's back. So I'm happy now. And he's not facing MFT. And I want my biggest note from Jacob Fatu coming back is keep him all the way away from the bloodline and keep him the F away from Timu Bloodline, a.k.a. MFT, which it looks like they're kind of, I don't want to say heating them up, but reintroducing them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, those little segments have been pretty cool, the way they've been kind of one at a time introducing them. And especially with the I Love You solo, which is obviously a dig at Fatu. But yeah, I was stoked when Fatu came out because I think anyone with a wrestling IQ of over 1 wants to see a Drew McIntyre or Jacob Fatu feud. I think there's so much that can be done with those two. So, yeah.
Bro, I got like 10 feuds for Jacob Fatu. I want to see him.
Yeah.
I want to see him and Braun Breaker. Yeah. Give me all of it, man. Yeah. Give me all of it. And
but
like,
yeah, this is a good start, though, with Drew McIntyre. You can't go wrong. I mean, Drew. I don't think Drew can have a bad program. So I think him and Fatu working together, it's going to be fun to watch those two go at it and build a story.
Ooh, food for thought, Matt. Food for thought here. Think about this for a second. What if Roman's on Raw, Seth is on Raw, the Usos are on Raw now? Wouldn't it be interesting if they did add another member to the Vision and they automatically snatched up Jacob Fatu? Like, what a dig. Then you could get Jacob and freaking Roman, which would be cool.
You could. I don't know. They just made him face. You take him from being a face to a heel. I don't know. It'd be intriguing. Fatu's kind of like the lone wolf guy.
Yeah.
He don't like. I don't think he needs a faction. Like,
No.
he only needs people when it's warranted. I don't think he needs, like, a full-time partner or a faction to be with.
No, but what it really kind of triggered in my head, which led me to that, was the whole purpose of the vision, right? The whole purpose of the vision is to take younger talent and just take the rocket pack and shoot them right up to the top tier talent, which is what it's doing for Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. So, like, it just, and go. Because, like, even though Seth and Becky are both technically in the vision, they don't need it, but, like, that's the main focus, so, like, expand that out. It's kind of like what they did with Judgment Day, or were trying to do when Edge was still there, right? Like, Edge was, like, grabbing all these people that weren't really getting over and brought them in, and I thought it was really cool. So, like, that's the only reason why I thought about it. I don't think he needs a faction. I don't even think he needs to go there. If we're getting back into the family screw around games, he's related. It is what it is. But, like, you really need him to have a match unless he dinged himself up in that last, like, crap fest. I really want to see him have a match and really kind of start beating the crap out of people again, because he's so fun to watch, man. He's right up there with Penta. He's right up there with Rey Fenix. I love watching him wrestle, and I need him to get back in the ring and start doing his thing.
Yeah, and he doesn't move like a 270-pounder either. But I thought it was funny, too, in that whole segment before Fatu came out, the little argument back and forth between Nick Aldis and Drew. Like,
yeah.
Aldis was giving him crap, and it was kind of getting under Drew's skin. But, yeah, I can't wait for Fatu and Drew to get in the ring, man. It's going to be physical. It's going to be, I think it's going to be wild. I think the fans will like it. So, WWE, please don't let them have a sucky match or a stupid story. Like, just let them go and beat the crap out of each other.
I mean, I guess it's food for thought, but, like, was that more about Solo's limitations than Jacob's? Jacob doesn't have limitations. I'll say that right now.
No.
He really doesn't. He's great in the ring. And, I don't know, like, Solo seems limited to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but,
Yeah, he doesn't have that. Jacob's got that charisma, too, with his look, the way he acts, his crazy
He'll let you
antics.
know right away. You got the all gas, no brakes thing and everything else, like, right up.
What does he say? Yada yamin? So, yeah.
I can't do it.
No, I can't either.
Yeah.
I can't.
I'm
taking
pasty.
Spanish. I'm taking Spanish in college, and I can't roll the R's in half of the words, so, yeah. Yeah.
But,
yeah,
all right,
good old
so
Yankees
after that,
speaking Spanish.
Can't.
I can't roll the R's. We don't even say R's up where I'm from. Like, it's taken out of the language in New England. So, like, how can I roll something that I don't use in the first place?
I never even thought about that. That's right, because you guys put stuff in the car.
Yeah, not the car.
Put stuff in the car.
The car. Yeah, whatever. All right.
Yeah, no, look, man, you're talking to a dude that took Spanish for like 3 years in high school, and I can count like up to 10 and say like 3 other words, right? There's that.
Probably none that can be repeated on the podcast either.
Actually, they all can, because they're all simpleton words.
Okay.
Like K is what, SOCKS from the stupid commercial. That's what it is.
Come on.
But...
And Cero Miedo, no, Zero Fear. See, I can't even pronounce it right. Yeah.
See?
I can hear it in here.
WWE's like Sesame Street. We're learning as we watch people wrestling. It's educational TV.
It is.
And then, but you're also talking to a dude that's been to Afghanistan 5 times, never learned to lick a posh too. So, it's a me problem, not somebody else's. I'm just not very good at it. So.
That's all right.
But, all right. So then we get the open challenges. And Javon Evans comes out and he has a match with Sami Zayn. And folks, brace yourself, Matt. I like what Sami Zayn's doing right now. Credit to him. And I don't know if it's a less is more thing for him. Because if you stop and think about it, he's not really cutting promos right now. And he's just coming out like, all right, open challenge. Who's coming out? And it's like, okay, less is more. Because I think that's where the character of Sami Zayn really got on my nerves was his promos. Like, hi, Jay, I'm here to glom onto your stuff. Hi, Jimmy, I'm here to glom onto yours. And it's just like, no, now he's just out in the ring like, who's next? And I'm like, all right.
Yeah, and we
And the
never
match
really
was
picked.
good.
We've never crapped on his in-ring work. His in-ring work is solid. You know, it's some of his selling and shaking, whatever. But man, what a gem of a little match this was. Sammy and Devon. This Devon Evans dude is gonna be, man. He's doing stuff in the ring that like veterans do, like knowing when to roll out, when to do this. You know, and regardless that, you know, they get taught this in the performance center, when you're under there in the crowd and the hot lights and you got to think, oh, this would be a good time to, you know, roll out the ring and take a powder and do this. He does those little things that guys that have been in the business for a long time just automatically comes to them to help make the match flow. This dude is incredible. Like, he's gonna be a great one. I really think he's got a great future ahead of him. I mean, he almost, when he did that with that crossbody off the top rope, like he almost went over Sammy. Like I think he caught Sammy in the head, top of the head or something. But that dude can fly. He can do everything. He's gonna be something, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of good talent.
What is he? 20 years old? 21 years old? Like he's real young.
I couldn't tell you, but like I said, man, the talent there. I mean, you know, because we text back and forth. So, like, for those of you who don't know, my son plays high school football. So, like, when SmackDown comes on, you know, I miss little bits and pieces, and then I got to come back and watch because I'm at his football games, you know. But thank goodness for AirPods and hearing aids. I can listen, I can watch, you know, in between plays. So, all good. So I'm always checking in. But yeah, that was a really good match. And if this continues to be an open challenge where young talent is being allowed to go, like, I don't care. I don't want to see certain people wrestle Sami Zayn. Like, I don't need like Brock Lesnar to come out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that. I don't need Drew to come out. You know, I like that the younger guys are getting in there and working with him. So, good on him, man. I liked it, and I'm happy with Sammy, and maybe with Sammy, it's just less is more. You know, a little less promo, a little more in-ring, but I'm really pleased, and I'm liking it now. Now I'm a couple of weeks removed from him basically stealing Cena's thing, and, you know, cool, let's do it. Like, let's let it roll. Let's watch the young guys come up because we are starting to see an infusion of younger talent. So I'm happy. It's that time of year. Yep. So,
and with Devon Evans, I wouldn't call him up to the main roster. Let him go back to NXT. Again, if I had the pencil, we don't see Devon Evans until like Royal Rumble. He'll be in the Royal Rumble. He won't win, but he'll do something cool. And everybody will be like, oh, yeah, I remember him when he fought Zayn, you know, from back then. And then when the time is right, then you bring him up and he'll be a little more seasoned and he'll make a big impact. But yeah, he's a star, definitely a star in the future. Definitely.
Yeah.
Love
they got plenty of them. They got plenty of them that are like down there. They're getting time. They're working. Because this is what I don't want to see. I don't want to see people get called up and they just kind of hang out at catering, right? Like, no, I want to see people wrestle. Like, let's wrestle. Right. So
like Obafemi lost his NXT title to used to be Ricky Starks. I don't even know what his name is now in NXT. I don't want to see them call up Obafemi just to call him up. Like, he's got to make an impact. Mate, you know, he might be ready. Make sure they have something for him when he comes up, and he's just.
That's the big thing because they have flubbed on some of that, like where they'll bring somebody up.
And you kill the guy before he even gets going. Yeah, don't do that.
Well, they're kind of doing it with Julia right now. She's not in anything meaningful right now. So, like...
Which is sad because she's wearing gold. Like, anybody wearing gold should be in something.
I know.
Because at least the title creates a story. Even if there's no conflict between the champion herself and anybody else. The title itself builds a story, because who doesn't want a title? So why they're not having her defend and doing this silliness with Kiana James and flounder around and meet, I don't know.
I don't know, but I talked about this last week, and I'll say it again. I'm always a little more patient with some of these things because we don't know, right? Like, that's the big thing. I don't know. So I don't want to sit here and start crapping on everything and then go, oh, oops. You know, it turns out there was there's a method to the madness.
Right.
I'm not saying they hit on everything.
I'm not crapping on her. I'm talking about the writers and the guys that write the stories and the bookers. They got to make sure that they don't let her just become when no one cares about her. Like, they gotta build something for her. Otherwise,
she's got talent. Show it.
Yeah, exactly. And then it elevates the title. Like, right now, that title's not being elevated. But I don't want to spend 15 minutes talking about the women's U.S. title.
Good. So do you want to talk about the championship match?
It's a lot to talk
about. Go ahead,
about
Matt.
there. Good
so Nia
Lord.
Jax, Jade Cargill, and Tiffany Stratton had a match. And it actually was okay until it wasn't.
Yeah, the first half of the match was passable. It was okay. Not, I've seen stuff on social media. Oh, it's not Nia's fault. It's the ref's fault. It was Jade's fault because she didn't get her hands up. But there's a common denominator around all this, and it's Nia Jax. Nia Jax hurt Becky Lynch. She's hurt others in the past. Like, Jade got hurt because she shoved her into the stairs. Maybe Jade didn't get her hands up, but maybe she wasn't ready for it. Either way, I mean, that was a nasty, man, that was a bad cut. That was
a hell of a cut. But you know what's funny,
then,
Matt, about that?
Then the ref, you count 3 regardless. Like, but we don't, like you just said, we don't know, like, what's going on with Julia. We don't know what that ref, like, what they were saying in her earpiece from the back. Like, oh, no, this can't be the finish. This can't be done.
So did read one thing that said the earpiece might have fallen out. And look, here's your movie reference of the day, Star Wars Episode 4. I honestly don't know if Han shot first or Greedo shot first, even though we all know Han shot first. But, like, the whole, so I don't know if it was Jade missed her spot to break that thing up. Nia didn't do her part and, like, go, oh, crap, she's going to count to 3. I might have to kick out. There's a lot of blame to go around in this crap fest. So, like, it all went downhill. All of it stems around Jade getting really... Having seen what the actual gouge was out of her head, I was like, bro, I guarantee you there was trainers down on the edge, like when she would roll out of the ring, like, super gluing or whatever the hell they were going to do to try to stop that, because it was gnarly.
It was down to the bone. It was bad. But But here's the thing, like, you could have had because Jade hit her finisher, and then she, like, and Nia kicked out. And then Jade rolled out of the ring. No, I'm sorry. Tiffy kicked Jade off her. So she could have snuck the pin because Jade had already hit her finisher, so she could have just taken care of the opportunity. My thing is, I've always seen in the past, and I've heard Charles Robinson was saying it, and I watched an interview, and I can't remember. It was an old NWA official, not Tommy Young. Might have been Nick Patrick. That said that we were always told that if they don't get their hand up, you count 3. If they don't get the shoulder off the mat, you just count 3, and you deal with it when you get in the back. You figure it out from after there, but...
We'll fix it in post. We'll fix it in post.
Yep.
Yeah.
I could just see, like, I could just see it if it was back in the days of Vince. Going back to Gorilla, be Vince, like, what was that? What kind of crap was that? Like, I could just see Vince having a conniption. But, hey, Tiffy grabbed her, gave her her prettiest moonsault, pinned her. But, man, the comment, I've backed down because I was sending you texts like, needs to be future endeavored, and the ref, whatever. It was bad. But still, the common denominator is when a lot of bad stuff happens when Nia's around, it tends to happen because of Nia. So, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. She's not a good worker. I don't think she's a good worker at all.
All right. here's another prime example of why I get frustrated with SmackDown and why I have to see stuff on lather, rinse, repeat. How many effing times does it have to be Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton? It's not even compelling. I'll be honest with you. Like, big girl on more petite girl is not like a one-off or maybe a series of 3, fine. But like, I don't really care. I want to see Tiffany Stratton wrestle other people, and we're finally going to get that because she's going to have to wrestle Fakir at Crown Jewel. But like, I don't want to see Nia Jax involved in that title picture anymore. And this is on creative because there's a lack of what to do with Nia Jax, right? You know, and her size is a blessing and a curse, right? Like, look at Raquel Rodriguez. It took Kevin Nash going, you need to wrestle big. And as soon as that got through to her, she's been on a whole nother level. And I don't understand why Nia can't get it. And then on top of that, there are times where, like, I feel like Nia mails it in or phones it in and doesn't execute like she should be. Like, there's times I've seen her dialed in and she's actually put on good matches. She had a pretty good run where she was putting on some good matches. And then all of a sudden, it was just like, we're back to this meh Jax. And it's not as good.
No, but like any other sport, if you're not competing at a high level week in and week out, you either get sent to the minors or you get benched or you get released. Like,
I think they gotta.
They gotta stop putting her on every week and having her stink up the show. I mean, God.
Hey, if she gets released, she could go do that food show with Braun Strowman. That dude landed on his feet. I'm actually intrigued.
He's going to play Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th. He just got, Braun Strowman just landed that role of playing Jason.
I saw an AI rendering of that of him, and I was like, "Ooh, that's a scary Jason Voorhees, man! Yeah, like, do it."
That's a big ass Jason Voorhees. That's a
hell
monster.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I might go. See
I don't know who's making that. Because if it's Rob Zombie, I'm in, dude. That dude's just got vision, but
that would be really cool.
So here's what I had as notes coming out of this, right?
All right, I want to hear your perspective.
Well, everything that we already said, because it was decent until it wasn't. I already said that. Jade is getting close to where you could probably strap her. I wish they would have went mid-card title with her a little bit. Let her kind of run with the mid-card title. Kind of refine herself. Get a higher density of matches in. But you look at her and you're just like, she's impeccable. But I think that, like, if she would have been in the mid-card picture, like, if she would have went out and just destroyed Chelsea Green and took the belt off of her, I wouldn't have questioned it. You know, so...
Yeah,
but her...
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Her work has been better. I don't have a problem with her. Do I think she's refined? No. That's why I said a mid-card would make me happier. Yes. But, like, she's on the cusp. And then, let's see here. I also think Tiffy time might be coming to an end. Unless they get her out of this perpetual cycle of doing stuff with Nia Jax. I need something new from her and exciting. And right now, she's just she's floating like a turd in the toilet, dude. Like, I don't know. You got to do something with her.
I'm not saying SmackDown's women roster is weak, but Raw has a super strong women's roster. It's not balanced. So, like, who is there for Tiffany next? So, like, and like you brought up a good point about Jade being a mid-card. The last couple times I watched, Jade's got an incredible look. I mean, she's got world champion look, but she doesn't have world champion talent yet. Like, she has the potential, but I see that she's still, like, not there. She, like, even the matches she's had with Tiffy, she's, like, blundered a few things. So, like, and I get it, they're all going to make mistakes, but I think there's your option for Julia right there. Julia and Jade, let them have a program.
Yeah, but then who do you put over? you don't want to bury Julia either.
Well, you
but
don't
I would
do it
like
the first.
to see
You
it.
would do it the first time go around because you could have
Bring
Jade
a
lose.
series.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Bring
saying.
a series, but the problem is that now you got Jade in the main title picture, so you got to kind of stick her there. Otherwise, it comes across her as perceived as a demotion. So
Right.
it's like,
Yeah, and then
you
who
know,
does that after Crown Jewel? Who does that leave for Tiffy? There's really because you
but
can't
who's
use
there?
you can't use
I
you
want
can't
Bayley.
use Bliss or Charlotte. Bayley would be good, but she's too busy
Bayley
on
would
Raw.
be she can just come and hug everybody on SmackDown too. It'll be fine. Like,
Well, then
and then go nuts on them.
Unless you bring Bayley and Lyra over.
But
to
like Lyra,
SmackDown.
I don't want to get ahead of myself. We'll talk about it a little bit, but yeah, that's kind of all I got on SmackDown. Like SmackDown was, again, this whole weekend has just been like, all right, I get where you're going. It wasn't like it was a solid like B minus, like all weekend as a whole. Like, you know, people will argue with me because they'll be like, oh wow, Roman came out, and I'm like, even his work in that was kind of all right. He came out and gave a lot of chair shots. Like, okay, like cool, but I need more. Like, it's so frustrating with him, but I won't get ahead of it. Let's just get into Raw, unless you got more about SmackDown.
No,
Because
there's not really much left to talk about from SmackDown. Raw had a lot more meat on the bone.
it did, but again, it was like, well, not great, but it did the job. I think I sent that to you via text like 5 times during Raw.
Yeah, I'm not saying wrestling quality, but there was more story stuff that kind of went in Monday.
There was
night.
a lot of story stuff on Raw because we kicked off. We got this. Rhea Ripley came out. Io Sky, Asuka comes out. They did a good job here of, again, with their foreign talent, letting their foreign talent speak in their native language and just subtitling it for us so we get a lot of substance. And then, like, you know, they came out and we got more. And, like, I think you said it, but it was kind of coming off like a Nickelodeon, like,
teen drama
episode, drama. And it really was until it wasn't. And it was like, okay, cool. You know, it all made sense. And once they started beating the crap out of everybody, it was like, then we get Asuka's use of the mist lately. Like, whew, child. That girl, I don't know where she's storing it, but she got a lot of mist.
She's got some.
She got Rhea huge.
Yeah, she's like Linda Blair from The Exorcist when she like spews out the green vomit. You know. There we go. I got a movie reference.
No kidding.
But yeah,
I know that's 2 now.
Yeah. So
we got Star Wars in too.
But yeah, the mist thing was good, and no, it's not like I thought it kind of started off weak because it looked weird, like with that whole kind of teenage high school drama stuff. Because she's not usually like her character doesn't allow for that, but she's trying to be the good friend.
She is,
but it ended up working at the end because I even texted you like when they were talking, and I thought it was over. I'm like, well, this sucked, and then the post-interview antics kicked off, and that it really kind of it put a nice little bow on the end of it.
Rhea referencing of what happened with her in Judgment Day was huge.
Yep.
And honestly, some of these stories, especially these multiple people stories, so like when we sit there and talk about the Usos and Roman, that's Jay's story. It's not a story about Roman anymore. It's not about Jimmy. It's about Jay. And in this case, a lot of this story is about Kyrie Sane.
Mm-hmm.
More so than anything. Because Rhea's Rhea, Io's Io, and Asuka's Asuka. But that whole little group, it's all about Kyrie Sane. And like they're doing really good work. I know, we'll skip ahead because it was really brief, but her actually talking to Io later on and handing off a picture of her, Asuka.
That was really good. That was
solid. And it really continued that story. It explained why Io is so conflicted. And like, it also kind of lends credibility to Rhea. Like, it's kind of like, we've all encountered that kind of friend, and or we've had those people in our past where they're like, "Yo, bro, you shouldn't be hanging out with them." They kind of talk you into shitty stuff, and like, I appreciate Rhea coming out and going, "You know what, man? I've been through it. I'm telling you," and that's what anybody as a friend wants, right? Like, hey, this isn't good for you. Because if you don't say something, you'll come across as an ass later on. Because then you're spiking the football and being like, "I told you so," and it's like, well, no,
Why didn't you
so
tell me
like
when I
this
needed
is
to be told? Yeah.
yeah, and like the whole story there is actually really compelling and really good. So kudos, man. Like that's what I'm saying. This is one of the better storylines, like low key,
Yeah.
and the best part is it doesn't involve titles right now. Like they managed to softly move Asuka and Io and Rhea away from a title. Like we're going to let that breathe over here, but we're giving you some stuff over here. The story is really good right now, and I like it a lot. And
It works really good for Rhea because now she's got this big match in Perth. Because you knew she wasn't going to get a title shot at Perth because of the crown jewel, but it gets her a match. That crowd is going to be rabid for Rhea, of course. And, of course, they love Io. You got 4 really good workers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of, like you said about Kyrie Sane.
3 really good and 1 okay. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, but
Kyrie could be really good when she's on. If she's not on,
yes.
Yeah, so she's got to be.
It's noticeable.
But she's better when she's in a tag situation. The more people that's involved, the better she is. One-on-one, that's when she seems to get into trouble and make mistakes. But no, throughout the whole show, that was, again, Raw does a really good job of centering a show around usually one story. We kind of got 2 last night on Raw because there was a lot more of. We saw more than just
got
Seth
3,
once.
kind of.
Yeah,
we dipped our toes in 3. Because we'll get through it as we go. And let me say something else that's underrated. I love the 7 o'clock start time.
Well,
now
tomorrow, next week, it goes back to
West
8.
Coast.
It goes back to 8 next week because they're in Dallas. So I think, yeah.
I love the 7 o'clock start time.
Me too.
Like when Roman came out at the end of the show, and like I looked up at my clock and I was like, yeah, it started at 7. Like, it totally changed how I view it. It's so weird. So, like, I think with the 8 o'clock shows, and especially when they were like 3-hour shows, you would start looking at the clock and going, like, we got so much more to go. It's getting late. You want to go to bed.
Yeah, you're not focused on the show as much.
Look, I'm 49 years old. Homie needs sleep. And especially during football season, when I got to travel for Bills games, I get tired, So, like, I was just really like, ugh, but last night, like, I was taking everything in. I was just kind of chilling, enjoying the show. And, like, even that final match, I was like, oh, wow, it's only like 20 after 9. And I was like, and Roman's out? I was like, well, yeah, this is the end of the show. So, like, I liked it. I hate that they're going back to 8. I think 7's a win for a couple of reasons. One of which is you get eyeballs on your product without having to compete with the NFL. Right. And I think that's big.
And then if Raw gets over early enough, you can throw on and watch the second half of the football game. So
it's actually a nice balance, Yeah. I mean, back in my day, back in my day, if they did that, you would switch back over to WCW. But like, we don't have Monday Night Wars anymore.
No, and your VCR is busted.
Except for that time when I like overextended myself and got TiVo. That's just, I know, right?
Man.
But yeah,
that was pre-great.
Just make sure you use the wrestling tape. Don't make sure you got the wrestling tape out.
Yeah, not the wedding video.
No.
Like, you ever see have you ever seen the episode Everybody Loves Raymond, where they wanted to watch Ray and Deborah's wedding, and Ray had taped when the Giants were playing the Bills in the Super Bowl. He had taped over his wedding with the Super Bowl. So, like, the beginning of it, you see, like, you know, there's Deborah waiting to go down the aisle of the church, and all of a sudden it goes to kickoff of the Super Bowl. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Don't put tape over the little... If the tab is pulled, let it be. Don't put tape over it.
Especially if it's your wedding tape, mark wedding on it. You know, that'd be a key thing, too.
Yeah, those labels would fade. All right, enough old stuff. Old stuff.
Horrible.
So after that, we get a battle for the Intercontinental Championship. We get Dom and Rusev. Real good match.
Man, I love Dom. I didn't like Dom. Man, Dom's got it going. Dom is the man right now.
He's in the zone, and man, he went through like Eddie Guerrero's like greatest hits, man. Like, and my favorite moment is when he tried to do the shit with the title, and the
ref saw the whole thing.
I saw you, and I was like, all right. And then he tried something. It played out so well. I mean, at some point, I think look, I'm not going to be butthurt. I think Rusev, you run back.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that somebody like Rusev taking the title off of Dom is a good thing. Because I don't think Dragon Lee's going to beat him for the Mega Championship. You can still do the AAA thing. He can still be obnoxious because he can just come out and go, I'm Mega Champion. And, so it's like, he doesn't really need both belts. And I think this all comes down to whenever Liv is coming back. I think him getting ostracized from the Judgment Day-ish is going to come out of that. Or she might play the loyal girlfriend or whatever and be like, yeah, about that. So...
And there's no shame if Dom loses to Rusev. Rusev outweighs him by 60, 70 pounds, so not a shame.
No.
It doesn't hurt
and
Dom.
that's why I said you could pull the trigger, and, like, the nice part is you got the internal friction with him and the Judgment Day right now. We were kind of kicking back and forth. You're like, I'm ready for him to be a face, or getting there, and
but then
he's doing great heel work. You just let him roll.
I got to see it, but I read the script of it. He gave a promo at a AAA house show or something, and man, he just went full heel, like just talking just crapped all over his father, saying that he goes throughout all of history, Lucha Libre and Mexican wrestlers have come to WWE and never won a title. He goes, I'm the Mega Champion and I'm the IC title. And he started name dropping, like, in Mexico, like Mil Mascaras, Dos Caras, his father, Perro Aguayo. So all these, like, Lucha Libre legends that only won titles in Mexico. And I know 2025 is a lot different than it was in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But just Dom, and then Dom was just crapping on the crowd, like, full heel. So, yeah. You know what? I wouldn't change a thing about Dom's character. If the fans are going to cheer him, which they did last night in earnest, then that's fine. And even Dom plays to the crowd. He was doing it last night. He was like playing to the crowd. And then next week, if the crowd boos him out of the building, that's fine. He can play along with the crowd that way. So, yeah, I wouldn't touch Dom. Like, man, sometimes you just let it go. Don't mess with the recipe, man, because then you got to ruin the cake.
You know what pisses me off? Like, you kind of glazed over it, but, like, it's one of the biggest failings of WCW back in the day ever.
Cruiserweight
was
division?
Like, what an effing waste. They had so much talent on that roster on the lighter guys. And then, like, obviously you had the lunatics running the asylum, so Nash, Hall, Hogan, they all had Bischoff's ear, and they kind of just did what they do. What a waste, man. I remember distinctly watching Rey Mysterio there. Like, I remember it. I was like, I love this kid. And they had a couple other cruiserweights. I can't think of them off the top of my head.
Hutavud was really good. I think Psychosis would come in once in a while. But then you had a much smaller, more aerial.
Who's the skeleton dude?
Alpaca.
Yeah, he was there.
Alpaca. Yep, and then you had Eddie Guerrero when he was young. You had a
Yep.
young Chris. You had a young Chris Jericho. You had Dean Malenko. You had Chris Benoit. Man, you had like a
God,
Billy Kidman. There was a bunch of like smaller dudes that would
the talent that they had, and like, if you haven't watched it, folks, go back and there's a whole docu-series about the Monday Night Wars, and you'll see what Matt and I are talking about, man. Like, they went into this, and you could kind of see it because, like, you could kind of see that there was a distinct, like, two-tier booking in WCW. Like, you had all your main event, you know, your big names. So you had your, you know, like I said, Hall, Hogan, Nash. And then you also had like Sting. You had Goldberg. You
Jeff
had
Jarrett, he's Flair, Kurt Hennig.
But like you had guys that kind of floated in between
Right.
the mid card and main event, like DDP and stuff. And like, I don't know, man. That company had way too much damn talent to like. They just misused it because they let the loonies run the asylum. But I digress, man. It just
the
you were
best
saying
matches
what
on
you were
those
saying.
WCW shows were always the smaller guys. They would steal the show like
Yes.
every show. And then like the main event would be like a crap fest because it'd be like Jeff Jarrett hitting somebody with a fake guitar and like Scott Hall half drunk doing something. It was the main event was just
Which version of WO was he? That was when it got ridiculous. Like half the rosters in the NWO. Like. Anyways, moving on. All right.
That was good reminiscing about old WCW days, though.
Man, it was as great as things are now in wrestling and as mainstream as it is. Man, those Monday Night Wars, I'll say it over and over. There was nothing better because they were going head to head. They were like, and it was so good because like WCW started at 8, Raw started on 9, and then you were like, okay, well, I'm going to watch an hour of WCW and had it recording in the bedroom because Raw comes on at 9, so I'm going to watch Raw in the living room. Yes, folks, we didn't have it as cool now, as we, but like, so you would watch Raw, and then because WCW without fail always ran long, like you would switch back over to see the main event on WCW. Oh, bro, that was the time.
They'd run over 15 minutes sometimes. But you know what was
Half
cool
hour.
about that too? Yeah, that was the first time too that like WWE or WWF back then would acknowledge the competition and vice versa because they always acted like they never really existed. Well, WCW and NWA sometimes would. If a big star came from WWF, they would say, oh, he came from up north or something like that. But, I mean, Tony Schiavone giving out the results to Raw at the very beginning of when he used to tape Raw, giving out the results on Nitro. Like, there was just so much. I mean, it was locker room talk. It was either you were talking about that on Tuesday morning, and then, like, the rest of the week you were talking about The Sopranos or whatever else. But it was just, man,
But it was even better than that because, like, back before we had, like, these subscription plans, PLEs, and stuff like that, right? You had to get a pay-per-view. And I, as a younger person, did not have an ass ton of money to be dropping $50 on a pay-per-view a month. Until it became...
Yeah.
It was once a month. So you had a choice, at least at the time for me, it was... I have money for one pay-per-view.
Right. So you had to
So who's going to give me the better card? And like, so you're watching the build up and you're like, I'm getting Rock. I'm just throwing out random stuff. I'm getting Rock Austin, but I'm also getting Goldberg Hogan. You know what I mean? So it always came down to like who had the better card. It was kind of nice because with that direct competition, you were able to make informed decisions as to, all right, I'm really invested in Sting right now, but there's a lot more over here. So, like, some were non-negotiable. Like WrestleMania, you were like, I'm watching WrestleMania, but like, it was fun, man. It's really fun looking at it, going back where you had to make those kind of decisions. You know, because, dude, I was a warehouse worker at the time. I wasn't making, like, you know, good enough money. I was just surviving and living in an apartment with a roommate and everything else, just chilling.
Yeah.
So, like, good times.
And if you didn't see the pay-per-view, you had to wait about 3 months, and then you can go rent it at Blockbuster.
Well, it wasn't just that. It was now...
Or tape trading, like you would tape a show and trade it with your buddy.
Yep, but the pay-per-view would happen, and then you were like, oh, crap. I wonder what happened. Because, you know, we didn't have the internet like we do now. So, like, you were like, I wonder what happened. So, just interesting times.
It was.
You know who else is interesting, Matt? Bayley.
Me? Oh, I thought me.
Bayley. Oh, you could be interesting, too. But Bayley. And this whole character work that she's got going on right now, which is really kind of cool. And like I'm trying to figure out if Lyra's her catalyst or what that is. But like this like tripolar thing that she's got going on, have at it, man. I'm grooving on it.
I like how sometimes she can't control it, like she doesn't know what's coming, she can't do anything about it. And then sometimes like she knows it's coming, she tries to fight it, so it's really good. And then, like, poor Lyra just being like, I don't know which way's up right now. She's playing her role, like, really good. So, yeah, I don't want to split them up, and I'm interested to see how it's going. I'd let it play out for a while, and I think at some point, if I was to write the story, I think I'd have Lyra kind of like, all right, I'm going to accept her warts and all, and just watch this conflict and see how it evolves, but... Yeah, Bayley's awesome. She had a good
so long
match,
as we don't get into this whole canned like, hey, focus, you're going a little cray, focus. Yeah, I don't want that.
Not that, no.
Like, but no, this is another one of those storylines. This is why I said there was another storyline here, which is this whole thing with Bayley has some potential and some legs. I'm kind of curious to see where they go with this. I know we're supposed to be writing this right now, but like, they're giving us enough right now where it's like, you kind of gave me the teaser. I kind of need to see it now to kind of get an idea where we're going. But, nah, Bayley's work is incredible. And the match was good, too. And again, Raquel's been hitting it out of the park, man. Like, she's been doing good stuff.
No, really good. And I like the fact, too, that Lyra just like, I'm not going to be in your corner. But then when it came 2 against 1... she came out, and even then, she's coming out. She's like, do I come in and help her? So it's good. It's a good dynamic.
Do I dare? Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
it is.
Yeah.
There.
But, like, Lyra's a good person, so at the end of the day, she's going to help her out. So, no, it was
all right,
was good.
So after that, we get LA Knight and Kofi Kingston. So, like that they called back and kind of reminded you, like, hey, Kofi used to be a world champion. Like, Kofi Mania was the thing. And, like, LA Knight and the promo or not the promo, but like the interactions in back with Adam Pearce and like leading up to this match, it's just like, all right, Mr. Used to be a champion. I'm about to be champion. And like LA Knight, since coming to Raw, has really hit a nice groove, and I love it. And like, he's never gonna wow you in the ring. Like, he hits a lot of his stuff clean, but man, you pair that with his personality, and it's just like, yep, I'm feeling it. Like, let's go.
He came across very, like, I know this is a big comparison. Monday night, he came across very Steve Austin-ish. Like, even the backstage segment, like, anytime the New Day would say something, he'd shove him right back with an insult, Like, he was being a smartass in the back, but it was great. It wasn't just for comedic effect, like, and that's what Stone Cold would do. And then out in the ring, he kind of works like Stone Cold. He's kind of a brawler, but he'll throw in a couple of wrestler moves. He's kind of that same, like...
Yeah,
same
I don't disagree with that.
I'm not saying that LA Knight is the second coming of Steve Austin, but I'm saying there's similarities.
No.
There's some similarities, and it's working for him. And I thought it was a good... Man, the BFT to finish the match, that just came, like, out of nowhere. It was great. Like, Kofi, again, like, he sold Penta's, like, destroyer, and he just acts like he got shot. Plays it perfect, so, yeah.
Yep.
The New
Day's work has been... Yeah, New Day's been doing great work too. They're working the back, and since you won't ban the Mexican Destroyer, Grayson Waller's on the show. I was like, yeah, go, big guy, go, like roll with it. All right. So then we get Cody and Seth face to face. All right. Well, the good news is we didn't get therapy Cody, but according to Matt, we got Chase the Hug Cody instead. I actually went back through our text interactions to take that out.
Well, he kind of was, because he's like,
it's
not about you, it's about the fans. That's chasing the hug, because the crowd's going to pop.
Bro, I told you earlier in this pod, and I'll say it again, I'm just not grooving on Cody right now. He hasn't hit for me this go around.
Cody should have just said, hey, I'm up 3-0. You haven't beat me yet. I beat you with it. I mean, they kind of alluded to the Hell in the Cell stuff. And Seth came across weak. Like, Seth is supposed to be like this, bad guy. I don't know. It fell a little bit flat.
I think it didn't fall flat for me for Seth, because I think I felt like the future will only tell on this, but I felt like Seth was trying to keep himself in check. So if you noticed, like last week when Becky is just in the back losing her shit, and he's just calm, cool, and collected. Like, I feel like he's trying to come across as calm, cool, and collective, and he just wants to go postal on Cody, but he keeps himself in check, which is actually a very interesting thing. And then, on top of that, like, Cody trying to sow those seeds of doubt in your head, like, hey, Heyman's out for Heyman. Heyman likes those young guys. Are you really calling the shots? And like Seth being like, I'm involved in every decision. Yeah. I was like, okay.
The very end of that segment, Seth was really good. Because like when Cody brought up like, oh, you were in my corner at WrestleMania 40 and blah, blah, blah. And like, I thought we were friends. And then Seth's like, I was never your friend.
We were never friend.
Yeah. It was just
good.
It's just like he used Cody to get into WrestleMania and have that, but he didn't need Cody, wasn't friends. It just the common denominator is who they were going up against. They both couldn't stand him. And so like, yeah, I'm in a team with you, just like CM Punk did in War Games, I don't like the bloodline, but I'm gonna do this as a favor one time. So I think it was really good. Seth had a really good line at the end. He's like, I'm gonna clear the timeline. That's all in the past. Like, I've cleared the timeline. I think that's what he pretty much ended up with. So the end of it was really good.
Yeah.
The beginning was just...
all of it. It started off slow, but it's like, again, like, I don't know what's off with Cody. It's just off. And, like, I think pissed off Cody is better Cody, and what we're getting right now is, like, vanilla, tasteful Cody.
Corporate Cody.
So, new Coke isn't good as original Coke. Like... I don't know, man. It's just not hitting for me with him. His promos have been kind of meh.
Yeah, he's company Cody. He's corporate Cody.
Yeah.
But I will say, though, at the beginning, though, the fans kind of, I think, threw Seth off with all their... The fans were annoying the crap out of me during this because they were chanting for Cody Rhodes. They were chanting for CM Punk. And, like, chanting for OTC. And I'm just sitting there like, just shut up. Like, all right, enough. Like, let the guy talk. Like... And I get it, the fans did have fun, but they were...
I want to give Seth credit. Because every time they started, he just sat there with the mic.
Yep. Go ahead. Yeah.
And it was good. It was good crowd control, right? Because, like, he was like, well, we can stay here and you can just ramble on, or you're going to wait and hear what I have to say. So,
Which is better than just screaming in the crowd, telling them to shut up, which just makes them...
Yes.
Yeah. So...
AJ Styles, Dragon Lee, and Los Americanos. I'm not going to deep dive on this. The only thing I will say is they advanced a lot of story. First off, it was a fun match. But you advanced Dragon Lee because he announced he's got a match with Dom for the Mega Championship. Got AJ Styles not really coming across but he's definitely the heel in the John Cena match, if you will. Just being like, oh, thank you so much. I love beating up on John Cena. And I was like, that's clever. Like, it wasn't like I'm going to be a full-blown a-hole. but I do like beating up on John Cena. I was like, okay, good. I can feel that. And then, like, which, to my understanding, was always the plan. It was a creative decision, and they used social media to advance the storyline because Cody's out of dates. So I was like, or not Cody, excuse me. Cena's out of dates.
That was a good way to do it.
So it was a good way to do it. And if you call back, if you watch like the Cena Rock rivalry, they kept the whole freaking rivalry going via social media over a year with very little promos. So, like,
you talk about
it could be done, and I think
at WrestleMania at MetLife a few years ago.
Hey, I don't have to write my promos on my wrist. Yeah. But anyway.
I also heard a rumor that one of Cena's other last matches, I heard, is Dom Mysterio. That's a rumor, but I've heard.
Well, he listed off Dom in his list of people, so he had Sami Zayn in there, and he's done that. He's now checking off AJ Styles, and then he also had Dom in there. So, like, I'll be interested to see if Survivor Series. I mean, he's got what, 4 dates left, 5 dates. Yeah. He's doing Perth, so knock it down to 4 at least. So Survivor Series 3, last match 2. So he's only got two builds available to him. But
yeah, we don't know who his last opponent's going to be either. So I've heard
we know where and when.
Yeah, I've heard the rumor of Gunther.
I think everybody's just fantasy booking it right now. So it is what it is. Creative probably does have an answer for it, but yeah. It was, like I said, it was fun, but let's get into the main event.
Okay.
The Usos and the Brawns had a thing. Now, I'm going to sound like a hypocrite here because I was like, I'm so tired of them running all this stuff back, and now they're running all this stuff back on this one, but it makes sense. There's a rivalry there. There's an interconnect there. There's the Jay Seth dynamic. There's just so much there that you can run it back. I do think it's effed up that as loosey-goosey as LA Knight called last week's match, that you go, we're going to have a tornado tag team match. And I'm like, y'all had a tornado tag team match last week. You just didn't call it that. Yeah. It was just a match with a guest referee. Like, they were running amok in the last week. So it was like, but let's get into it, man. Like, this whole Roman Jay dynamic is so effing intriguing. This is like the third big storyline on Raw, right? Like, so you got the EO stuff, you got Bayley stuff, and then now you got like Jay, but Roman's whispering in his ear, trying to make him a champion. Oh. It's almost like Rocky, honestly. It's like Rocky, though, right? Like, it's really kind of weird. So, like, Roman can't think of the guy's name. So, when Mickey dies, Apollo's, like, Apollo trainer takes him, or Apollo takes him under his wing, and there's a lot of Rocky there. But I can't wait to see where this is going. Because I really do think at the end of the day, if I got the pencil, you do not turn Jay heel. I do think that you can have him tag with his brother a little bit. I do think that the end state might even be Roman Jay 2, which we got one with him. But
yeah,
I think that could be interesting. And I don't think Roman's fully renounced being a heel. So, like, you could have Roman be the bad guy in this and have Jay be the good guy. So, but it was great, man. Like I said, they're going to run Jay up to the edge of being a heel, and then they're going to not do it, which is good. He doesn't need to flip.
No, he doesn't. I think you're right. Now, you were talking earlier. I can't remember if it was earlier on the show or before we get on there. But it finally, maybe this is the opportunity where finally Roman is completely ostracized, alienated, and alone. Which you and I have been talking about this for like 4 freaking years.
I think that there is a potential to do that, where Jay is just like, we're not doing it your way because it don't feel right. Jimmy kind of trying to counter Roman. I think Roman, like, still thinking his whole gimmick's like the OTC thing, so I can't really take away the tribal chief aspect of him. But, like, on the flip side, it's like, I don't care if you're the tribal chief or not. You don't run me.
Yep.
Would be the way to go. So,
and I really like Jimmy and Jay back together, too. You get a lot more out of Jay on the mic, and they're just fun together.
Yeah. I think Jimmy is Jay's Whoopi, so to speak.
That's a good way to
like,
put it.
I think he's his Whoopi because, like, Jay cutting promos when Jimmy's around, he seems much more relaxed. Like, he's got a safety net or just got that security blanket. So, like, he actually doesn't have a problem with it. And I think that's pretty cool.
Well, we got to clarify something for all our millions and millions of viewers. They may not know what a Whoopi is.
Whoopi is the security blanket.
It is.
Just think of the dude from Peanuts that carried a blanket everywhere.
Yep, Linus with the blanket.
Linus.
But for military, the Whoopi
deal.
was just this cheaply made little cover-up. But, boy, it was the greatest thing to have in the field on deployment.
Poncho liner.
Poncho, yep.
Poncho liner.
I don't even know who named it Whoopi,
liner.
but, yeah.
Yep. Gotta have that Whoopi, yo.
I got to get me a Whoopi because I turned all my in. I need to buy a Whoopi just to have one.
I don't know, man.
Someday when I buy my house and I have my office, on my chair, when I do the podcast, maybe I'll have a Whoopi on the chair. Who knows? We'll see.
You're a Whoopi. That's awesome. Well, Matt, I mean, like I said, this week, it's been, like, not great, but, man, storylines really advanced. I think that Raw's knocking it out of the park a little bit on the storyline side.
Yep.
The matches were decent, too, so I'm not going to...
Nothing bad. Solid
Yeah,
show.
it wasn't... Yeah, I had a good time.
I'm actually looking forward to next week's podcast because now we're going to talk about, there'll be more stuff leading into Perth. I think the Raw next week, is the Raw going to be in Perth next week? Oh, not until, no, I'm sorry. I think it's the weekend after they go to Australia. I got to look at the calendar.
Bills play Patriots on the 5th, which means that's Sunday? What, the 11th? So, no, Saturday. Is the PLE. So next week is all go-home shows.
They all go home shows, so we'll have a lot to talk about.
We'll have the go-home Raw. We won't have the go-home SmackDown. And we'll get the PLE. So that's exciting. And I'm ready, man. Put me in, coach. And, my schedule worked out perfect. So, yeah.
I'm psyched because my beloved Red Sox came back and beat the Yankees tonight. I just checked the score. So we're up 1-0. So death to the Yankees in their postseason hopes.
Actually, for those of you that don't know, it's rivalries week for the Bills and the Patriots. Bills-Patriots Sunday Night Football this week. I am a diehard Buffalo Bills fan. Matt is a diehard New England Patriots fan.
Let me see if I can get it on the camera.
This is the week where Matt...
I got this tattoo, man. Red Sox, Patriots, Celtics, Bruins, man. Boston strong.
If I wanted to stand on my furniture, I would actually show my Bills tattoo. But, no, yeah. So I'll make you a deal, Matt, because I'm superstitious. Or as Josh Allen, he stole it from a show, but I'm a little stitious. So I'm a mega superstitious person. Everybody saw my WWE Bills belt earlier in one of the earlier podcasts. So because it's a rivalries game, they had the special jerseys. If you watch the Miami game, they had theirs last night. Now they'll never wear them again because Tyreek Hill dislocated his knee. It was ugly.
Yeah, he Sid Vicious himself.
The Bills and the Patriots are wearing theirs this week on Sunday Night Football. And myself and all the kids that are going to the game, we all have our own rivalries jersey. So the picture's coming out of this week. So next week's pod, I'll be in my rivalries jersey. But why do I bring up my superstition? I have made the conscious decision that jersey will not be worn. I haven't even tried it because I know my jersey size. I will not wear that jersey until Sunday. So, I almost made my son do it because his came in yesterday, and I was like, I need you to try it on to make sure it fits you right. And he is like, but he got away with it for like 30 seconds. I haven't tried mine on. Still got the tags and everything. So Sunday will be the first time I wear my Rivalries jersey, and let's go, man. I'm stoked for it.
No,
so that's what I got going on.
That'll be a good game Sunday night. I mean, I'm going to root for my Pats, but I'm also a Josh Allen fan. So, but yeah, sorry. I got to root against Josh Sunday night. We'll see.
That's all right. Hey, look, man, it's a divisional game. As I totally derail the wrestling podcast to talk football, but
that's all right. We're an hour and 18 minutes and nobody's listening anyway.
Everybody's like, slightly missed our 1 hour mark.
Well, not too bad. We're wrapping here.
Hey, it's rivalries week, but it's a big deal in college football. Let's make it a big deal in the pros. I mean, it's a divisional game, so like anything can happen. We saw it when the Bills played the Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. So short week and it's your division rival. It's like it can happen. So whatever. It's going to be a good time. But yeah, folks, thank you. Thank you to everybody that we mentioned last week. Thank you. Look forward to cutting the pod next week, and we'll actually have our predictions for Crown Jewel. So it'll be a fun podcast next week. Matt, tell the folks where they can find us.
They can find us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Live.
Go, man. Feel free to reach out, folks. And again,
drop your
thank
comments,
you for all the support that's out there.
Offer your suggestions. But
bring it on.
Yep. All right, folks. Well, that's enough for me tonight, unless Sean's got one more thing. Because those of you who are going to be listening to this and not seeing it, Sean had the finger up like the one more again.
No. I had a thought, but we'll take it off the air. But again, folks, thank you. Have a great week. Do good, be good, all that good stuff. And we'll talk to y'all next week.
Go Pats.
Go Bills.
Go Sox.
I control the record button.
Damn.